So now we have our two main lines in this room that we're going to grid off of. And now this is where it gets really simple. I'm just going to measure off of this line. And you can do this two ways. Sometimes the ends of these tape measures move and it gives you a different measurement. So if you want an exact measurement, just put it on the 1. Or you can put it on the 2. It doesn't matter, but you need to add that on the end of the tape measure. So if I'm going to do a 1, I'm going to keep it there. Now I'm going to go 2, 1, 4, 1. And if there's not a 6, 1, because it gets to the 5-foot mark and then we've got our cut piece. So now I'll make the end of my grid here at 5, 1. And this gives me my mark where my last piece goes down. So this won't be a 2 by 2 where these first two are. Come over to this side. Make sure you keep your tape measure straight. I put it on the 1. And now I'll make a mark at 2, 1, 4, 1, and again at 5, 1. And you can get that number from your cheat sheet, which is why you want to keep your cheat sheet with you, because I have even numbers. It's a little simpler and it's a smaller room, but I would just go to this cheat sheet. So I know that I went 24 inches, but I added the inch because I put it on the 1 there to get a good mark. And then I went down to 48. And I couldn't get to the 72, which I wrote every 2 tiles over here. So now I go over to this side and see what the next number is before the 72, which is 60. Which in this formula, again, it's an easy number. But when you're working with tiles that are 13 inch or above, or that have the fractions in them, where you need a 12 and an eighth, let's say, to get your grout joint, you really want to rely on that cheat sheet to remember these numbers. But fortunately, I have a nice easy tile on this one. Now I just come back this side of it. And I want to do the same thing. 2, 1, 4, 1, and obviously again 5, 1, because 6 feet won't go past. I'll do the other side again. Line everything up. I'll make my mark on my 2, 1 because I added that inch. 4, 1, 5, 1. Now, because I kept my tape measure straight off of this line, all these lines that I just drew are going to be square with this line. Now I'm just going to go through. And I can't really make a mark here for a 2-foot grid on this either. I'm going to make a mark anyway at the 1-foot mark, even though it's not going to be a 2 by 2 grid, so that if I snap a line over here, I know where all my cuts are going to be. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now I can't get my tape measure in here, so what do? Just flip it around. So I'll go on the 1 on this side. And again, I'll just make a couple marks in this. 1 here, 1 down there. And I'll make a mark at 1, 1 because I went with the 1 right there. If I would go there, it would be 12 inches. I'll circle that. Now here, where it extends into the toilet, I can make a 2 by 2 grid. But I still want to put my 1-foot mark here for this cabinet that I'm going to cut in. So I'm still going to make 1 mark right here. I'll make it at 1, 1. Now I'll come over here. I'll make this at 2, 1. And I can't go another 2, so I'm going to go to my cheat sheet. And if I do, the next number would be 3. So it's going to be 3, 1. And I'll circle those. And now I make these same marks right here, except for I don't need to make this one because I'm going to end that line right here at the cabinet. So I add that inch to make an accurate measurement, And now I'll go to 2-1 and 3-1. But make sure you always circle your marks that you're going to use so that you don't go by anything else. Now what we're going to do is go through and snap all these lines and show you what this grid looks like. You want to make absolutely sure that you're on your lines so that you keep things square. And you can go through and double check and make sure with your L square that you are staying square. And if you aren't, then you can come back, erase these lines with a sponge, and everything will be, everything, you can redo everything. All right. Okay. Might as well stay here. Now I'm just going through, snapping all the lines. Should be one right in there. Right there. Actually, that's one, that's one, that's one. So let's snap this one. Okay. Good. All right, now instead of reeling your chalk line in every time, you can kind of just take it and I'll pull it out from there. We already have that one. Okay, now just in case these lines disappear, I didn't circle these two marks, so I'm going to circle them so that if they wear off, I remember where they're at. And so basically that's what you do. Just go through and now we got our grid system.